Hey guys, it's Ryan from the Mavericks. This is podcast episode 8, take number 4. And today we're talking about how to double your income. We are at podcast number 8, which means that we are 1/50th of the way there to podcast episode 400. So we're looking forward to that. So we're talking about how to double your income. And the 7 points we're going to cover, as always, is number 1, the Dan Kennedy quote. Number 2, the sales process. And then from 3 to 7, we're going to talk about how to double your effectivity in the sales process in order to double your income. So number 1, the Dan Kennedy quote. If you've never heard of Dan Kennedy, he is the godfather of direct mail marketing. He is the reason that there are many multimillionaires in the world today and most people don't know about his name. So if you've never heard of him, I highly encourage you to check him out. He famously said that if you want to double your income, you have to double the amount of time you spend selling. Now think on this for a moment. If you were to spend 1 hour selling and it resulted in a certain amount of sales, then if you were to spend 2 times the amount of time selling, so say 1 hour of selling leads to, X number of sales, then if you were to do 2 hours of selling, you would get 2 times the amount of sales, and therefore you double your income. It's super insightful because we can use this same idea to actually look at the sales process and then determine how can we double our effectivity in each of the steps of the sales process to not only 2 times the number of income we have, but maybe even 16 times the amount of income we have. I'll explain to you what I mean. So that's the Dan Kennedy quote. So now, in talking about what I mean, you have to understand what the sales process is, right? There is a person out there in the world that does not know about your business or product. As they go through the interaction process with your business, they're going to change. They're going to be different people to you. So when they are unaware of your product, they are a prospect. When they learn about your product and express an interest in it, they are a lead. When they go from being a lead to buying your product, they're a customer. When they repeatedly buy from your product, they're a client. And when they refer their friends and family to you, they become a fan. So this is the process that someone goes when interacting with your business, from a prospect to a fan. Prospect, lead, customer, client, fan. And the goal is to get them to fandom. So if you can just double your effectivity in each of these steps, you would double the amount of sales you would make. But it compounds, right? So if you were to double the number of leads you generated, double the number of customers you generated from those leads, double the number of clients you generated from those customers, and double the amount of fans you got from those clients, you would 16 times your amount of income. So just think on that for a moment. Just by focusing on each step of the customer process, the conversion process, you will double your income at every step, and it compounds so that you can 16 times your income. You can go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. All right, so let's go through each of these sections to figure out what we can do to double our incomes. Now, when you go from prospect to leads, essentially a prospect is someone that is unaware of your business. So you need to reach out to them. And this is usually a cold reach. Phone calls, emails, letters, door-to-door knocking, or advertisements. Or content marketing, right? Like podcasts and stuff like this. Okay. So if you were to deploy, as an example, an advertisement, and you need to put out 5 to 7 ads to 100 prospects in order to get a certain number of leads, then if you just double the amount of ads you put out, so from 5 to 7 to 10 to 14 times the ads, to the same audience size of prospects, you would double the amount of leads you would generate. And that's your first step towards doubling your income. Or you could take the same 5 to 7 ads and double the audience size that you are advertising to. So from 100 prospects to 200 prospects, and then you would also double your leads. Interestingly, if you were to change your message in your advertisement from 5 to 7, like your 5 to 7 ads, if you were to change your message so that the message conversion rate was double, right? So instead of 10% responding to your ads, it was 20% because you made your ad more compelling. You made your message more compelling to the user to buy, the prospect to buy, or to express interest in your ad. Then you would also double the amount of leads you would generate from that same pool of prospects. Now check this out. Just in the prospect to lead step, you could 8 times your conversion and 8 times the amount of income. Because if you just double the amount of ads, double the audience size, and then double the conversion rate or the effectivity of the message, you would go 2 times 2 times 2, 8 times the conversion rate, 8 times the number of leads generated, which means 8 times the amount of income. So that's point number 3. If you just focus on how to increase the effectivity of your ads and the distribution of your ads, you can double or quadruple or 8 times the amount of leads you generate from that. Okay, that's step number 3. So that's point number 3. Point number 4, what we can do is we can go from, okay, so now you have these leads, right? So your leads, as they learn about your business and they start to understand that maybe this product or service is what they're looking for to solve their problem, and they go into being a customer, if you just work on your messaging appropriately, if you just change the messaging so that your offer is more compelling, again, you could double the number of customers you get from your leads just by changing the messaging, right? So that's one method. The other method is if you're communicating with your client base, if you're communicating with your lead base, say an X number of times, and you just double the amount of communication you make with that audience, then you can double the number of customers you get from those lead pool, right? So that's 2 things right there too. So you can either double the amount, you can double the effectivity of the message you are sending to your lead pool to get double the number of customers, or you could double the amount of communication that you're putting out to your lead pool in order to double the number of customers. So that's point number 4. You can just focus on the nurturing process, and right there, increase your conversion rate by 4 times, increase your sales by 4 times. All right, so that's leads to customers. Now let's go from customers to clients. So remember, customers are people that buy from you once. Clients are people that buy from you repeatedly. If you could just double the number of upsells you do when a customer buys from you, again, you would increase your the amount of income you would generate. Or if you were to create a product that in a way needed to be renewed, or the product or some product has to be renewed, and you change your messaging so that you compel the person to renew with you, and you just increase the effectivity by twice, you would again double the number of people that would go from customers to clients. And this also involves retention, right? Like, so sometimes your customers will leave and go somewhere else because they're not very happy with what you did. So if you just double the client satisfaction or customer satisfaction with the product that they are using from you, you will double the amount of retention, and therefore you will double the amount of repeat purchases. And all you have to do is focus on how to keep those clients with you, how to keep those customers with you and make them into clients, right? And you can just double the quality of your product, or you could double your outreach to them after they buy your product to see how they're doing. Or you could double your guarantee, anything. You could do so many different things to double what it takes to get someone to return back to you. So to go from a customer to a client. All right, so that's point number 5. Now, point number 6 is you could double the number of people that go from buying from you repeatedly to referring friends and family to you, right? So if you just focus on doubling your referral messages so that the people that are already fans of you, but they're not really telling anyone else, if you just were to compel them to go and tell other people because they love your business and they want to support it, if you were to just double that, you would double the number of customers that you would have, right? You would double the number of customers. So let's go back through everything. So that's point number 6, right? So that's point number 6. So if we go back through everything, number 1, we'll go number 1. So there's like 4 points here. So number 1, if you were to just double the number of ads you put out, or the audience size that you target, or double the effectivity of each ad, and you do all 3 even, you can 8 times the amount of income you have there. All right, so that's going from prospects to leads. When you go from leads to customers, you could double the effectivity of the message, or you could double the communication, or both. And right there, you can 4 times the amount of customers you generate from your lead pool. All right, going from your customers to clients, if you were to just double the upsells, double the messaging, double the retention rate, you would get more clients out of your customers. And then going from clients to fans, if you were to double your referral messaging, you would get double the amount of sales right there, because your fans now will refer your business to their social circle, right? The best part about this insight is that the sales process is actually quite wide, and you can pick any part of the sales process that is low hanging fruit and say, okay, you know what? I really could change the messaging over there. Or you know what? We really do have the budget for ads. I can just double the amount of ads. Or you know what? I do have the budget to actually expand the audience that I'm reaching out to. Or I have a better understanding of my audience and I know I can change the age range and so double the audience size that I'm advertising to. So you can look at the whole sales process and ask yourself, what are the low-hanging fruit that I can attack in the sales process to double the effectivity? And if I just double everything, if I double all those points, inevitably what's going to happen is I'm going to double my sales. And if I double my sales, I double my income. Now, before I go, I just want you to know we have a group called the Mavericks. So the Mavericks are a group of people that believe that everybody could, should, and would benefit from having power over their own income source. So this could be having their own business, climbing high in their careers, or being an investor. In all these three avenues, we believe that people should have autonomy over their own income and stability in their own lives. And so if you resonate with this message and you want to join our group and learn about the different things that we are doing to reach our first million and to reach autonomy with our own income, then I encourage you to visit our website, mavericks.goldwynandsons.com. You'll see it in the description of any of the media that you're watching this on. So mavericks.goldwynandsons.com. Join our email list. I've got a ton of free gifts for you. And I'm very much sure that you will enjoy what I'm going to give you. And I'm very much sure that you're going to benefit from all the different resources that we have available on our website. So thank you for joining me. This is Ryan from the Mavericks again. Stay tuned for podcast episode 9. Take care.